to start dinner together. First, we're going to get the meat sliced and browning on the stove, and because we're going to be doing, this is round steaks, and this is a bottom round steak. Found these all in the reduced area at Kroger. We're going to do roast beef and mashed potatoes and gravy. Probably find one other, probably get another side going. Grab the trash can real quick. This is something that is easy to do. I don't do fat. I don't like it. Not my thing. Cut it off. Okay, here. So, and I have a cut thumb, so I have the Band-Aid, and then I have a finger thing off of it, on it. So, there's a big old piece of fat running through this piece of this steak, and like I said, I'm not one for cooking fat. I don't like it. I don't like it in my mouth. I don't like it at all. I know some people think that's crazy, but that's just me. I don't like it. I don't like to see grease in my food floating before I eat it. I don't know. Of course, I'm gonna trim off this. These are kitchen scissors that I use quite often. But like I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up into pieces, and we're gonna put it in the Instapot to cook with onion soup mix, which I'm going to show you how to do that once I get this going on the stove to brown my meat on the stove. And then I will put, like I said, while it's browning, then I can, I'll show you how to do my onion soup mix. When I was pregnant with Noah, I started having horrible migraines. He is now 18. Migraines did not go away after he was born, so I've had to learn how to cook and make stuff over the years. And the original recipe that I had for the onion soup mix, I have changed it over the years to suit me how I like it. Because when we first made it, I made it according to recipe. I did it that way. But I found that if I was going to be using the onion soup mix in a pot on the stove, that the flour in it would get everything. The flour that was in the soup mix would be thickening up everything, and it would stick in the pot. Well, I don't want my food. I don't like stuff sticking. That's not a good plan either. So I thought, okay, we're gonna see if we can change this a little bit. Plus, with the original recipe, you put vegetable cooking oil in it. Well, that's something else I just don't really care for doing. That's another more fat in your food. Or that I don't like to see it floating business. So, and I know I am weird. I'm just going to sprinkle a little. Woo, that got a little more than I wanted on there. Put a little bit of meat tenderizer on this, and I'm going to get this going. I'm going to work on cutting up this other. I won't be cooking all of this meat tonight, but I will go ahead and get it cooking. Well, not cooking. I will cut it while I'm all doing the food prep part of all this, because this way I can get more than one thing meal to go at a time. Plate there to put this other on, and you can do this with beef stew meat. You could do it, these just happen to be what I found that was marked down, different sizes, different cuts. you know, it just kind of depends on what you like. I use this onion soup mix when I do roast. When I also make a chicken and rice casserole in the oven, I use this onion soup mix. So anything that you're doing, putting onion soup in normally, that's what you would be use that for. It just kind of depends on what all you normally, how you normally cook. I have tried the better than bouillon stuff. It's not really my thing. I guess it serves a purpose, but I would just as soon rather use my onion soup mix that I make and a little bit of the Banquet brown gravy something. I have to look to make sure that's not the right word. It's maybe browning sauce is what I'm thinking. So we'll show you that too. You get this flipped over here. Let it start sticking. Gotta make sure I don't touch stuff with this other hand, since it does have raw meat on it. So see, this way we can just trim. Like I said, I don't like that. And of course you could do, you know, anything that you wanted to use the soup mix for. I mean, you could always put onion soup mix with beef broth and cooked vegetables. I store all, I usually when I make it, I make up a big batch. And you know, that's another thing some people like less onion, more onion. I put more onion, the dried onions in it, because that's just, like I said, it's just what I prefer. But it's all up, it's however you personally like to cook. So I'm just getting y'all this away from all this fat, yucky nonsense. I'm over here turning my beef again. Because really all we're doing over here, all we want to do is kind of brown it a little. Not really we're just not cooking it over here on the stove. Because I will actually put it in my Instapot to actually cook it. So, and normally I would brown it in my cast iron skillet, but with me working on cutting up meat and needing to pay attention to what's going on over here camera wise, I was afraid that it might stick and cause a big old mess, and that would just have a smoky kitchen. That would just show y'all that, yeah, we are not perfect. It doesn't matter how long you have cooked or anything. It doesn't matter. You can still burn stuff just as well as the next person. It's just the way it goes. You know, I don't like to purposefully or non-purposely, purposely, any of that. I try not to, you know, be causing food to burn or stick or do all that. With what food costs, I don't like to waste food. Because goodness knows groceries cost us a lot of money. Now I'm going to be doing this in a bowl. Start with the mashed potatoes on the bottom and put our meat and some gravy over on top of it. You could, you know, do it as a beef stew bowl. there's plenty of ways. That's the floor. To eat your beef. Some people use teriyaki and kind of do it like a stir fry using teriyaki sauce as the way to make your to do your marinade. So you could always, cook your meat in it and then let it drain to put it with grilled peppers and onions to do like a stir fry. There's lots of different ways you can do different things. Sounds like Peter, not Peter. But Noah and Princess have been outside. Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, probably went start the plane.
Okay.
That's the door. With the shed.
Oh.
So, man.
Gotcha. Noah screamed earlier today, and then him and Princess were out when they get back. Noah was working out, and so that meant. Okay. Therefore, Princess thought she needed to go outside and play, which is fine. Today it's on the chilly side outside here. It's spring seemed to have been blown away by freaking nasty cold wind. But at least we are not getting the snow that other people are getting. Thank goodness. I don't want that. Our blueberry plants have little bugs on them. I'm praying that all this crazy weather has not killed them. Because we had lots of blooms. But this is typical here lately for weather around here not to be changing, doing all sorts of crazy things. We are back. I have gotten my Instapot full. I've got the meat and water in there. Well, that made a mess of the counter. Now, the original recipe to make your onion soup mix called for to use oil and flour, but I've decided I don't like doing it that way. I do like using more onion, and it doesn't matter what onion, powder, salt, what you use. Got everything from McCormick. This one's a Simply Truth organic onion powder. This is organic onion powder from Walmart. This is just regular chopped onions from Kroger. Here's a McCormick onion powder. There's another onion powder. It really doesn't matter how you do it. I store mine after I get it all mixed up in a jar. This is a quart-sized jar that stays on my shelf in the pantry. And so I don't need any, but I was just going to show y'all. It gets a little dusty. Now this is 4.87 ounces. I love checking the reduced area at the grocery store because you never know what you may find. And these chopped onions were one of those finds. I think I paid $1.72 for this container, so I'm just going to use the whole container. It doesn't matter. Like I said, we got plenty of onions. So I just put that. So this ended up being what, about a cup and let's see, yeah. I said it was 4.87 ounces, so it's a little. I think that must be just what it weighs, because there's a whole lot more in there than that. Okay, so I have the onions in here. And then, let's see. Okay, this is the onion powder. I have really liked using more of the onion powder. Because it says that when you're making it, I think it's a half a cup of onions at a time. So this is what it's considered for 2. So I'm fixing to use a nice big, this is a tablespoon that's of your onion powder. Like I said, I like the onion flavor, but I don't want to have a lot of extra sodium, because that's part of what you're trying to cut down on your onion powder, your salt. So I'm only going to put a teaspoon of onion salt in here. Maybe just a tiny more, bit more. Okay. So then you're just gonna, I'm just gonna use my measure that I used to measure it out. I'm just gonna mix it all up in here. Not sure it didn't all fall to the bottom, but I just mix it up together. And usually I shake up you saw me shaking my jar up just a few minutes ago. There's something, I don't know what that is. Something brown in there. I think it's a piece of foil off the jar. That jar of onions. So basically all that's in here is your onion salt, your chopped onions, and your onion powder. Then I'm going to take about a teaspoon of this. Maybe, probably about 2 heaping teaspoons. Put it in here. You could always use more, just whatever you want to do. Why not add a little more from Okay, now, and like I said, in the first recipe, it said to mix your chopped onions and all your onion powder and onion salt. They also recommended sugar. I don't put sugar in mine. And a tablespoon of vegetable oil. I don't use that. And then a tablespoon of potato starch flour. That flour was just to help soak it up and bind it. But I have since decided I really don't like the flour being in it. Let's see, y'all. I'm looking for my hat. My measuring spoons are all right there in the drawer of my island. I'm going to shake up. This is the browning and seasoning sauce. It is brown. And this is a brand new bottle. As you can tell, that you heard it clicking. And it doesn't take much of this to give it that brown color. I think this has a lot of sodium in it. Well, it does have sodium in it. I can't read right offhand how much it is because I don't have my granny glasses on. But I'll read it and tell you in a second. So I've put the onion soup, our homemade onion soup in here. There's water, there's our stew meat, and I've just put the browning sauce in there. Let's see. It says, well, it's not as much sodium in here. It just says 5 milligrams for 1 teaspoon. So there's not a whole lot in there. That's good. But we're going to start our crock pot. Woo, this isn't a crock pot. This is a pressure cooker. So, let's see here. We're going to get it all turned on here. Let's see. We're going to pressure cook this. I'm going to start it. And I will pick up the video once it is ready to come out and be served. And see the finished product. I just put some out, put it on the cutting board. We're just going to slice it. Like I said, you could use serving hours with mashed potatoes. You could always put it over rice, or you could, cut your meat up and put it on with potatoes and carrots. You could always do it many different ways. Now that it's cooked, you could also let it cool off, cut it in strips, and put it on for a sandwich. Grab a plate here. Okay, so And I still have have everything in the Instapot, but I have also used a little cornstarch and water, and I have thickened the broth so it's more like a gravy consistency. And here is that final product. I think you're gonna zoom in over there, or what you doing? Okay, well, I will see you next time. We're fixing to have dinner as a family. Bye.